Guys, what is the best time to work out? The questions of all the ages. So a lot of people ask that question, and I had a conversation with a friend of mine who's a Pilates teacher, and she obviously looked at a study that showed that working out around midday is the best time. However, it's not that simple and it's not that straightforward, and also not all studies show the same results. But there are circumstances where working out at a certain time of the day would be beneficial. Now, the first thing to actually put into consideration here is that working out anytime during the day is better than not working out at all. So if you can fit it in the morning, evening, or whenever, do it, because that's gonna be good for you, whether it's studied that it's better to do it at a certain time or not. But it's not that simple anyway. So here is something else to take into consideration: your own circadian rhythm, your own energy. And so when do you have the most energy? That's probably the best time to work out. If you're a morning person, very likely morning time is the best time for you. And if you are an evening person, it's very likely that later in the day might be working better for you because you have more energy. So that's something to take into consideration and appreciate. And I think we need to become smarter about it, because otherwise we just force ourselves and then it's just not going to work. And it also doesn't become a sustainable lifestyle change. And we want to make sure that we have good lifestyle changes. The other thing is, the study that showed that midday is a good time to work out was considering people with cardiovascular disease. And I read that basically one of the options as to why this may be the case is because people that have been awake for a few hours, have been moving already, when they exercise, they have a better VO2 max, which is the volume of oxygen in the blood per minute. And so that is a good defining parameter for not only fitness but cardiovascular health. So the higher your VO2 max, the better you're gonna be, healthier you're gonna be. So maybe that's the case. Maybe people that have been awake for a while, have been moving, they've been breathing already on an active cycle, then they have more oxygenation, and that can make the workouts better and more beneficial for the cardiovascular health. However, when we look at things like diabetes or even women's health, they compared two groups of people and they made sure they all were on the same diet, so the diet wouldn't have anything to do with this. And they compared women working out in the morning and night and men working out in the morning and night. When it came to the women, one thing that they found, that in the morning what happened was that they had a better result when it came to cortisol level and stress level. So they just did better, and that lowered their blood pressure as well. And also that when it came to body composition, they tended to lose belly fat if they worked out in the morning more than if they did it at night. The night group, however, showed also that they had good results when it came to bulking up muscle, and that also was the result that the men saw. In fact, the men didn't really see any improvement in working out in the morning versus night, but at night they did see an improvement, especially for larger muscle groups, to put more bulk on. That could be because although testosterone is higher in the morning, when it comes to evening workouts, they have a longer recovery time, so perhaps the body just manages to put more into the muscle growth, and that could be one of the things that might be happening. Now, of course, nothing is definite. There is much more research that has to be done. There's more investment that has to be done in research. But I think those are very nice guidelines, but also remind us that we are all unique, number one, but also that depending on our circumstances, we might find that one thing works better than the other, and we have to find what it is for us. And I think this is something I endorse when it comes to diet. Although I'm very much plant-based vegan, I also think that sometimes we have to shift the macronutrients that we're working with depending on the time of the month, and also what hormones we're supporting. And generally speaking, just because our body gets used to things, and we want to make sure that we kind of support it in being more challenged. Now, when it comes to workouts, it seems that working out at similar times during the day is actually also beneficial, because the body adapts, and that's a good thing. It's just that obviously we want to also make sure that we change our workouts, the intensity of it, if we want to achieve some results. So the other question is, what do you want to achieve with your workouts? So I think this is such a fascinating thing. Now, coming from a women's health background and coming from having diabetes, I know for a fact that people that are insulin resistant, which happens to us as women as estrogen goes down, we want workout on an empty stomach first thing in the morning, maybe have a more strenuous workout at that point to become more insulin sensitive, and this is the case for everyone with diabetes. And then also move our body after a meal. So if you are having a meal, you don't necessarily have to go to the gym and work out, but go for a walk. Moving your body definitely improves the way that we are managing insulin. So I hope this was helpful. Look at the studies I pointed below so you can check them out yourself. You can have a read. You can learn about VO2 max. I put some videos there that explain what it is, what it isn't. There are a lot of people that are talking about it, and I think it's nice that we are having this conversation, making people more aware of VO2 max, but also about the training zones that we can be in. So that's something I'm still kind of working out for myself. So I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not an expert, but I have pointed you in the right direction. A very good podcast that discusses this. So if you're interested, you can learn more.